0-0. Point. 1-0. Point. 2-0. Side up. 0-2. Side up. 2-0. Side up.
So Hayworth is known for having a huge serve, but we'll see how much he has to dial it back with this wooden paddle. Still going for a lot. That was a pretty well-paced serve.
Point.
Foot fault called on Connor, but it's out there. So we know that singles, the serve can be so crucial. So
1-2.
seeing how aggressive these players are on serve, it could be the difference in this match.
1-2. Side up.
Chris has one of the best two-hand backhand roll shots in the world, but this week he's been a little off with it. So normally he's so dialed in with shots like that, but the wooden paddle is much more challenging for Chris Hayworth.
2-1. Point.
A lot of these players did not get much practice time, so coming into this week, they just showed up on site, had never hit with a wooden paddle before, and so it's been a big adjustment. 3-1.
Side up. 1-3. Point.
Chris still generating a lot of pace with that forehand drive. He makes it look easy. Most players have had so much trouble hitting shots like that, but Chris Hayworth still got it with this wooden paddle.
Side up.
It's almost unnatural how much pace Chris Hayworth brings in the sport.
3-2. Point.
Seems like he's trying to go to Connor Garnett's forehand on some of these returns. We'll see if that's the strategy to try and return to Connor Garnett's forehand.
Side up. No. 2-4. No. Side up.
We are going to see a few drives go into the net at times in this match.
4-2. Side up.
their 4th time ever playing together. So Garnett has faced off against Hayworth. This is actually their 5th time, so Garnett is 3-1 all time against Chris. So Garnett definitely has a good advantage over Hayworth by beating him 3 out of 4 matches when they've played.
Point. Three, four. Point.
And that's the first sort of drop shot roll that Chris Hayworth has hit. He's not typically known for hitting drops in singles, but with these paddles, we may see a little bit softer play from him.
Point.
5-4 now.
5-4. Point.
And one good thing Chris has to love about this week is he can pretty easily take the net on serve. So he knows he's not going to get passed very easily by any players. So it feels very comfortable just coming to the line. He knows he's not going to get passed by fast drives.
Side up.
And that's why you don't see Chris Hayworth hit a bunch of drop shots, placing the ball. He's not really known for shots like that. He's usually an overpowering kind of guy, and that's part of why he missed that shot. It's 4-6 now.
Side up. Six, four. Point.
Chris is going to have an easier time passing Connor Garnett just due to the height difference. So when Chris is at the net, he's going to be able to pretty much field any drives off of Connor Garnett's paddle, whereas Connor is a little bit shorter, doesn't have as much of a wingspan. Chris will be able to pass him a bit more. 8-4 now.
8-4. Side up.
Deep service return from Connor Garnett forces a missed shot from Hayworth on the 3rd. So that's a big side out. He gets the ball back at 4-8.
4-8.
Connor hangs his head after that missed overhead. He's really having to work hard to win every rally, whereas Chris is having a little bit easier time getting points. It's 8-4. And Connor realizes that he has to go for bigger shots, and that time he goes for a big counterattack. And with these wooden paddles, those just have not been landing. It's very hard to control a counterattack block like that, and it sails long. Perfectly spotted drive from Connor Garnett. So he, after the air off his paddle, he hits a beautiful drive, gets it back at 4-9. Probably tell that Connor Garnett just not as comfortable with this paddle as we've normally seen him. One was not great for Connor Garnett. Hayworth looks like he's in control. Coming into the match, Garnett was 3-1 all time against Chris Hayworth. So a player that he may have the edge over. There may be no player that has a winning record career all time against Chris Hayworth. Garnett may be the only one. But with the wooden paddles, I do think Chris Hayworth has the advantage in this particular format with this equipment. And I think that's just due to the wingspan of Chris Hayworth.
2-0.
Connor is going to need to have rallies like that, but it's very difficult to have great play like that consistently throughout the match against Chris Hayworth.
0-2. Point.
Chris trying to pin Connor Garnett deep there with a lot of pressure, but you just don't have as much control, and so he pushes it wide. 1-2.
Side up. 2-1. Side up.
Hayworth just going for broke there against Connor Garnett, being ultra aggressive. That has not worked throughout this week, and Garnett was ready.
1-2. Point.
Yeah, so their 5th meeting all time. Connor's 3-1 historically against Chris Hayworth, so an incredible record against such a strong player to be up 3-1. They last played a couple weeks ago at the Cincinnati Showcase, and Garnett took him down 11-4, 11-1. So I think with a normal paddle, Garnett has a good advantage against Hayworth, but here in this format, that has not played out.
Side up. To review the rally stands, the ball was in. Loss of challenge. No free challenge remaining. One free challenge remaining. For resume play and sign out 2-2.
All right, so it's 2-2. Connor Garnett serving.
2-2. Point.
And Hayworth showing his touch and placement gets Connor Garnett on the run there. So he gets the ball back at 2-3.
2-3. Side up. One at a time. 3-2. Point.
That's a tough miss there from Hayworth. That ball was served up on a tee. I'm not sure how Hayworth missed that shot. It is 4-2 now.
Side up.
And players just not as used to these wooden paddles. These are power players on the court, especially in singles. And so the touch shots, reducing the power, it's just not working for them. They're not as comfortable with these wooden paddles.
Side up.
Chris's career singles record 57-20. I look for that to continue to improve. I think Chris could easily have a higher percentage as he continues to grow on tour. But I think this tournament, Chris will say, I can't just overpower players forever. I think Chris will say, I need to maybe work on my drops, my touch, just to become the best singles player I can possibly be. I can't just overpower players forever. He set that up perfectly, but he just pushes the forehand wide. And Connor, of course, been around, played more tournaments probably than Chris Hayworth, on the PPA at least. He's 148 and 67, so Connor Garnett continues to rise in our sport. He's always been such a phenomenal singles player, but starting to become a top player in all three facets of the game. So I think if that did not hit the net, it may have had a chance to land in, but the net cord helps it push wide. So Hayworth gets it back at 3-4. Chris doesn't miss too many shots by 3 or 4 feet very often. That is pretty rare, and it's strictly because of his equipment. 4-3. Beautiful ball from Connor Garnett. You cannot do it better than that. That was gorgeous. Probably one of the shots of the day. Again, he's really dialed in, going down Chris's line on his forehand side. Chris probably needs a timeout here. Several points in a row for Connor. Looks like he's going to keep on playing. It's 7-3 now. Great replay there on beautiful ball off of Chris Hayworth's paddle. Pickleball Central Vintage Sacramento Open. Ball was called out by Connor Garnett, so he's got a 9-4 commanding lead in game 2, looking to close it out, force a third against Chris Hayworth. Cannot do it better than that. Chris Hayworth with a beautiful touch shot straight from tennis. And when Chris gets a two-hand backhand that he can pull you out wide with the angles that he hits, it's so challenging. Really had Connor Garnett on the run. Does it again. He went for a big serve there, but he also went for a big third, and I think he went too big on that third. You just can't hit those with these paddles. So it goes back to Connor Garnett at 9-6. Game point here. Connor wants to force a third. That's what makes Chris so tough. It really looked like he was going to go to the other side of the court with that big backhand volley, but he goes down Garnett's other side. So Garnett had to guess which direction Chris was going to go. He holds it to the last second, and he gets a big overhead put away. So it's 6-10.
6-10.
Chris may have the best serve with a wooden paddle out of any player. It's super impressive to see him hitting serves like this.
7-10. Point.
Chris getting hot now, and he's the 13th seed, but obviously, if you follow our sport, you know Hayworth is one of the top dogs in men's singles. Chris Hayworth just served at 9-10. He is on a run right now. 10-10, looking to close it out and get a bronze medal.
10-10. Side up. 10-10.
It was great hustle to even get a paddle on that ball from Connor Garnett. Chris is so good at pulling players out wide, but then Chris hustles back and gets a clean winner. So it's 10-10 back in the hands of Hayworth, and we will have a match point here off a missed service return. So the match can go either way, but that missed return will be very crucial. Chris is really dialing up the aggressiveness here, going for bigger shots here in game two, trying to finish off Connor Garnett. Chris is not playing conservative at all, and there's going to be some errors when you do that, but I think he'll continue to put his foot on the gas. It's 10-11 now. I think he should be more conservative whenever Garnett's serving, but when he has the ball, that's when you're aggressive. Again, going for too much whenever Connor has the ball, so he's giving away free points.
12-11.
Game point, 12-11. And it slips away, so Garnett takes it 13-11, takes game three. Connor Garnett serving. Hayworth really utilizing the lob there to work his way back into that rally. Those were key shots when he was in a lot of trouble there. Great lobs from Chris Hayworth. 0-1. And throughout the week, if there's a deep service return, it makes the thirds incredibly difficult. And Connor Garnett's deep service return made it very hard for Hayworth, and that's why he missed it into the net. So it's 1-0.
Point. 2-0. Line up. 0-2. Point.
Great strike there from Chris Hayworth. So he's playing a lot of these shots at Connor Garnett, and then when he gets an opportunity, he goes to the Connor Garnett's backhand. So he's avoiding the backhand for the first couple shots, he's working to the forehand, and then he's going backhand.
Point. No! 2-2. Line up. 2-2.
Beautiful cross-court forehand pass from Connor Garnett. We're used to seeing him hit shots like that week in and week out on the PPA Tour. A little bit harder to do this week, but that was picture perfect from Connor Garnett. He's got a 3-2 lead.
3-2. Point.
And Hayworth had a golden opportunity to put away that ball. Very rare miss from Hayworth, gets Connor Garnett his 4th point.
4-2. Line up. Two, 4. Line up. 4-2.
And the net cord gets Connor Garnett a big 5th point. So game 3 sure to be close. So every point that you can get is going to be crucial. And Garnett now has the lead at 5-2.
Line up. 2-5. Point. 3-5. Side out.
So ball will go back to Connor Garnett at 5-3.
5-3. Line up.
Connor's line is open there if Hayworth wants to continue to try and hit shots like that, but sometimes it's just a risk reward to try and go there, and Hayworth misses it wide. So it's 5-3 again for Connor. Hayworth definitely has the edge whenever they're playing at the kitchen line like that. He's so long, wingspan probably at the top of the sport. So whenever Chris is at the kitchen line, look for that to be an advantage. So a missed serve from Chris, and then a missed return of serve. Currently, looks like women's doubles going on. Big side out there for Chris Hayworth. He did not want to be down 7-4. He gets the ball back at 4-6 now. Would like to see him really crank up this serve. Big return from Chris Hayworth. I don't know that you'll see him hit a better return of serve than that. That was gorgeous, and it gave him an easy put away on the next one. 4-6. And there are some rallies with this wooden paddle where Chris Hayworth looks just unbeatable, and then there are some where he looks completely uncomfortable with the wooden paddle. So it's just if he can harness these great moments that he has. That return was way out from Connor, definitely about 6 inches long. 6-6 now. All right, so it's going to be 6-6 in the hands of Chris Hayworth. Pretty good serve from Chris. It had good pace and good depth. Perfect ball from Connor Garnett. Got a lot of topspin roll on that forehand. Gets the ball back at 6-7. Chris flying up to the kitchen line, attacking that ball from a low position. And Garnett makes him pay, so he gets it back at 6-7. Connor Garnett trying to drop the ball there at Chris Hayworth, but when you have a massive opponent like Chris with a big wingspan and pretty good balance, it's pretty hard to keep the ball low enough to where he can't attack it out of the air on those drops. It's 2E Nation. Connor Garnett with a great drive off his backhand. 7-7. 6-7. Chris really looking for a backhand volley there, so he leaves his forehand open, and Garnett finds the spot. So I think he'll continue to go there on Chris. If Chris is going to be leaning backhand, that's definitely a spot Connor will continue to target. And another backhand missed service return from Chris. Has not looked very comfortable hitting backhand service returns. I would probably try and shade and take most of my returns from the forehand. Sometimes the difference between winning and losing is less than a centimeter. That ball squeaking over the net. So instead of 9-7, it's 7-8. That net cord just a total match changer. Great around the post from Connor Garnett. I would say Connor Garnett is probably at some of the best around the post out of any player in PPA Tour history. Connor is a highlight reel on around the post. We've seen it time and again. Total miss hit there from Connor Garnett. So ball goes back to Chris Hayworth at 8-8. And big drives from the back line are just landing short. It's not working very often for these players. So ball will go back to Connor Garnett, 8-8. Strong work there from Chris Hayworth. He found a way to play his brand of pickleball on that rally, and he gets his 9th point. Someone that would make a bad call. Call will stand.
8-9.
We'll hear what the call is, but it's likely to stand, and Chris Hayworth will probably lose a challenge here and be assessed a technical warning.
Review the rally stance. Ball was out. Loss of challenge resulting in technical warning. No free challenge remaining. One free challenge remaining. We'll resume play at point 9-9. Time in. 9-9. Side up. 9-9.
Chris gets the 10th point by playing it deep to Connor Garnett. So he'll have a match point at 10-9.
10-9.
Our 13 seed takes the bronze off back-to-back missed return of serves from Connor Garnett. Chris Hayworth serve maybe the difference there in the third game. He pulls it out 11-4, 11-13, 11-9. So congrats to Chris Hayworth, our bronze medal winner at the Pickleball Central Vintage Sacramento Open. He's the 13 seed currently, but obviously we expect him to continue to rise up the ranks in men's singles. Just getting started on tour as a newly signed player.